What's up, Ranger Nation? It is your boy JB, and we are here today to discuss the season finale of Power Rangers Dino Fury, episode number 21. And this episode was titled Void Trap, you guys. All right, you guys. So before we go ahead and get into the review, if you guys are watching this video or any other review on this channel and are not subscribed to the channel, I'm just going to need you guys to do me a big, huge favor and hit that subscribe button and turn your notifications on. Share the video, you guys. And with that out of the way, Ranger Nation, let us go ahead and discuss the season finale of Power Rangers Dino Fury. So season 1 is in the books, right? So now we move forward to season 2. So let's go ahead and start this episode up, right? So we see, and you guys remember on last week's episode, or if you guys watched it on Netflix already, the previous episode, you guys remember that Void Knight had taken all of Dr. Akana's devices, right? So now we see the team as they're in the base and they're wondering to themselves, why would Void Knight take Dr. Akana's devices, right? So Zato says to the team that he feels that maybe that the Sporix beasts that he has are not giving him the power that he needs, which Zato, you're 100% correct about that one, right? Javi made a joke about needing to power up an air conditioner. I was like, okay, whatever. So then we see Izzy, right? So Izzy is talking about, Dr. Akana's devices, right? They won't work without the capacitor. So at this point, they wanted to find Dr. Akana to get the capacitors. But Ion has come up with an idea. Ion is like, well, no. How about we actually give Void Knight the capacitor? They were like, why? And then that's when Amelia says, yeah, how about we do that? Give him the capacitors so that way we can sabotage it. And whatever Void Knight is trying to use the capacitors for, we destroy it, we blow it up, right? So at this point now, the Rangers need to talk to Dr. Akana and get her on board. But Ali, however, is not real receptive to this, right? He doesn't want to put his mother in harm's way, and rightfully so, and understandably so, right? But Zato says, that is your mother's choice, which that is her choice, right? And, Zato is a great leader, right? I'm not going to sit here and take it away from Zato that he's a great leader. But I don't think Zato, that was the issue that Zato had 65 million years ago, right? Zato didn't listen to what Ion told him about the Sporix, and we see how that transpired, right? And now here we are with Ali. Zato is not listening to what Ali's saying. He's not listening to the input of his teammates, right? He has his idea. He thinks his idea is good, so he wants to go 100% forward with his idea, right? But he's not taking any input. And like I said, he is correct that this is Dr. Akana's, this is her. She, if she wants to do it, that's her say so, not Ollie's, right? So then we move back over to Area 62, right? So we see that Regal has brought Boom Tower back, right? Boom Tower was like, I knew I would survive that black hole. They were like, yeah, nah, buddy, you ain't survived that black hole. Regal brought you back, right? So then Void Knight has all the devices set up, right? But then he realizes that there's a part missing. So he sends, Boom Tower and the others to go and find Dr. Akana. So we see as the Rangers, they're hidden, right? So they have Dr. Akana walking through the city, and they just want her to have, just make any kind of conversation about her capacitor, right? So as Dr. Akana does that, she has a conversation about the capacitor. Then we see as Regal, Boom Tower, Mucus, and Slither appear, right? And then Void Knight also came, and they took the capacitors, right? So Void Knight left to go back to, his device, to what he needs to do, leaving Slither, Mucus, Regal, as well as Boom Tower there, right? So instead of them letting Dr. Akana go, what happened is Regal, you guys know Regal has those handcuffs that puts people to sleep. So Regal put one on Dr. Akana and put her to sleep, right? And when that happened, Regal teleported Dr. Kana as well as Mucus and Slither to another dimension. And I was like, oh no, not my Mucus and not my Slither. Like, not Mucus and Slither. I need them to come. I mean, I know, I'm pretty positive we'll see them in season 2. Pretty positive. Oh, I skipped the whole part. Uh, I skipped a whole entire part. My bad, you guys. So the Rangers, so the part that I left out was when the Rangers, they met up with Dr. Akana, and they were in the base, and she met Solon, and the Rangers were in their suits, right? Now, the one thing that I thought was kind of interesting was the fact that I know that Ollie disguises his voice, right? I know that Ollie disguises his voice, but you've been around Zato, you've been around Amelia, you've been around Izzy, Javi, you've been around them, right? So you know what their voices sound like. So Dr. Connor never at one point was like, damn, these voices sound hella fucking familiar to me. Zato, is that you? Amelia. What up, Izzy? Javi? So if you guys, if that's Blue, don't tell me your ass is Ollie. Ollie, take that goddamn helmet off. Like, no one, it's just a question that I have, right? But we're going to pause here, you guys. We're going to move forward, right? So, after, Regal had teleported Dr. Khan as well as Slither and Mucus to the Dark Dimension, Ollie was upset. And I don't blame that man, right? Like, you put my mother in danger, and now she's gone. Like, Zato, me and you about to have to catch this fade, bro. Like, square up, because I'm about to beat the brakes off of your alien ass. Like, that's what I would have said. Like, square up, square up, square up, square up, square up. Where's my mother? But Zato calls on the Zords, and he goes to the Dark Dimension, right? So he goes to the Dark Dimension. Meanwhile, the others, they're going to battle with Boom Tower. So the other Rangers, they do end up defeating Boom Tower. But after they defeat Boom Tower, Regal is still around. So Regal, boom. Or was that Void Knight? Yeah, Void Knight and the Henchmen. After they defeated Boom Tower, my bad, I didn't mean to say Regal. Void Knight and the Henchmen showed up, and the Rangers were battling with them. But Void Knight threw the handcuffs on them, and put everyone to sleep with the exception of Ollie, right? So then we move back over to the Dark Dimension. So in the Dark Dimension, that's where Regal was. Regal was in the Dark Dimension. So Zato is battling with Regal in the Megazord, and he destroys Regal, right? So then he finds Dr. Kana. They go back into the Zord cockpit. But before that, Mucus and Slither were like, hey, can you help us? Nah, y'all on your own. Okay, he's supposed to be such a hero, but he left us here. Oh God, he left. You left my Mucus and Slither. They'll find their way back. They'll be back. So we see as Zato, and actually before that, Ollie. So Ollie went back to Dino Hinge, right? So at Dino Hinge, that's where Void Knight has everything set up, right? And we see he has the Rangers. They're strapped into some seats, right? And they're by their respective statues that gives them their powers, right? So at this point, Void Knight has the capacitors, and what he does was he's getting ready to power them up. And then we see Zato and Dr. Kana. They show up, right? So then Void Knight, he's zapping the Rangers with energy from the morphing grid, and much like what Zoran said with the pink, I wonder if it's the same with any Ranger powers, right? Too much pink energy, blue energy, green energy. I wonder if it's the same, right? Because you guys remember, Zoran told Kimberly when she went to the Wild West that too much pink energy is not it's not good to have too much pink energy, right? So with that, they got to come up with a plan, because if the Rangers absorb too much energy, it would eventually destroy them, right? So Zato and Ollie have come up with the plan, right? So what they're gonna do is they are going to basically pull the plug on his machine, right? So Zato is gonna be the distraction. So Zato goes to distract Void Knight, right? But Zato is unfortunately put to sleep by Void Knight. So then Void Knight puts him with the others, and he is still powering up his machine to, send the power up to Santora, right? And we see Santora, as it looks like she's awakening. She looks like she's waking up, right? So now it is up to Ollie to basically save the day. So Dr. O'Connor's like, well, she has a plan. She wants to be a distraction. And once again, Ollie's like, no. But she's like, this is my choice, and I choose to help you. So she goes and she distracts Void Knight, right? So then what Ollie does is Ollie uses one of the boost keys, and Ollie, he goes and destroys each statue one by one, which breaks the connection. It actually breaks the connection to the morphing grid, right? So the team, everyone is, coming back to, right? And then once they start coming to, they all start to demorph. And he's like, oh no, they're demorphing. He's like, we've lost our connection to the grid. So then when they demorph, Dr. Kano was like, Ollie's friends? And then Ollie demorphs, and she notices that her son is the Blue Ranger, right? So then, we see the Rangers, and they have their final battle with the Henchmen as well as Void Knight, right? In civilian form. So they are not Rangers anymore. They don't have their Ranger powers. So this final battle was kind of similar to this final battle from Power Rangers Wild Force, when the Rangers didn't have their Ranger powers anymore. And Ninja Storm. Ninja Storm they didn't have powers either when it defeated Lothor. But so at one point, Santora is still right, where she was. So Izzy was like, I'll take it out. So Izzy goes up and she slashes it, right? And then Void Knight, he goes and he just flings her ass. And then they eventually do take out his machine, blowing Void Knight and that machine up, right? And that is the end of Void Knight for now. We'll see if Void Knight returns next season. So in Area 62, only thing that's left is his helmet that is, beaten up badly, right? And Santora. So then we move back over to Dino Hinge, right? So the Rangers they no longer have their powers, right? But they're still the Power Rangers, and there's still Sporix out there that they have to take care of. But then we see as the Green Morphing Master appears, right? And she, she fixes their connection to the morphing grid. So she brings the statues back, and she, reinstates them as the Power Rangers. So now they're back in action, and that is where we basically ended it. So we're going into season 2. I'm looking forward to season 2. I think I'm going to do a video just wrapping up my thoughts and my ideas of season 1 that may come next Saturday, because I'm debating if I'm going to do the Christmas episode. I might do it. I may, and I may not. I'm not quite sure yet, you guys. But that is the end of season 1 of Power Rangers Dino Fury. So let me know what you guys thought about this episode. Let me know what you guys' overall thoughts of the seasons were. And like the video, share, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Until then, Ranger Nation, bye.